Hi, my name is Chloe. I'm a third year double majoring in creative writing and Japanese with a minor in French. I am in the Japanese pod here at Shea, and today I'm going to show you around a bit, so let's go inside. So the very first place we come to in Shea is this dining hall. Now this is where you will have your weekly conversations with your language pod. Those times will vary depending on people's availability, but it's a really good way to get to talk in the language every single day, even if you're not in classes or just beginning to learn the language. At Shea here we have people of varying different abilities speaking the language, and so it's a really good opportunity to learn from your peers and get some free conversation experience. So in here is the kitchen that all the Shea residents are able to use. We have a full-size fridge and freezer, stovetop, microwave. Everything is really here for us to use as long as people label their appliances. You can leave them down here and be free to use them whenever you want to use the kitchen. So this is one of the study spaces that we have here at Shea, where students can have a quiet space to either work by themselves or work with other residents at Shea or friends that they want to invite over. Now across from us is a classroom that has different classes at Shea, typically language classes, can use this space for their 50 minutes to teach. Right now, there's a second year Japanese class in there, but they are taking a test, so we don't want to interrupt them, but that is a really other nice space for Shea to use, both teachers and residents. When it's not being used as a classroom, we often use it for our weekly language corner, where each language pod will have different activities and events for an hour with the rest of their pod and their students, and those are organized by the language advisor for each pod. So this, on the first floor, is the laundry room here at Shea, which is very convenient because it's in the actual building, unlike a lot of other residential dorms where you have to go somewhere else to do your laundry. Shea has a laundry room right in its basement, where you have your washers and your dryers, and it's very convenient and does a good load of laundry. So this is the third floor of Shea where I live. So this is one of our lounge spaces where we obviously have the TV, and it's just a lot of fun to hang out with friends here, do homework here. It's a great place to do language corners once a week with your language advisors and the other people in your pod. But it's also really just a common space for people at Shea to hang out. Almost every night there'll be people on these couches or gathered in front of this TV, playing games, watching videos, or just talking with each other. So we have a lot of different games and puzzles here, as well as the TV that can be hooked up to, and plenty of space for people to sit and socialize. And now we have come to my room, so follow me. So this is kind of a typical double room in Shea. All of the layouts of these rooms are a little bit different, but they obviously, as you can see, have plenty of space, plenty of room for storage. I've been in this specific room both last year and this year, so I very much like the layout of it and have very much gotten into the flow of living in a space like this. All rooms here are equipped with this air conditioning, and the maintenance is very quick to call if anything happens. They're really good at fixing these if you have any issues, so don't hesitate to give them a call. One of the things offered in the room is a complimentary microwave, freezer, and fridge. which is very nice because the room provides that. It's a different space where you can have your own food and keep it right in the comfort and availability of your own room. I initially applied to Shea because, of course, the languages. I have been speaking French since I was a kid. When I went into college, I knew I wanted to learn a new language. I started learning Japanese because of its difficulty and because I wanted that challenge. I was originally debating between Shea and the French House because I knew I wanted that continued language immersion, that continued experience. I eventually decided on Shea because I was new to Japanese and still starting out and still learning. I really wanted the expertise of my peers, which is what Shea is so good at. It's a perfect mix of people that are just starting out the language and people that are either finishing it out or really reaching that level of expertise and fluency that the language departments at UVA allow for you to acquire. My favorite part of Shea is definitely the people. I mean, it may sound cliche. The reason that everyone lives here is to be able to talk with other people and live with other people. And even if we're not speaking Japanese or practicing these foreign languages that we're learning, there are always people out in the hallway just hanging out and having a good time. People that choose to learn a specific language tend to have similar interests. It is a really good opportunity for us all to unite over these similarities while also learning about other people's differences. So as a resident in Shea, community is very, very important to us. There are these smaller communities of your language pod. This year we have Japanese, Chinese, Korean, American Sign Language, Russian, and German. Those are very tight-knit communities where you see each other every week, multiple times a week, almost every day, do a lot of activities together, have a lot of bonding together. But then at large, there's the entire community of Shea itself. There's a lot of just very fun intermingling that you have friends all across pods. It's just a very close-knit community of people that you can always rely on each other. That's helped as well by the faculty that are in charge of each language. It's really nice to see them and have their native, often, language expertise with forming that language community. The lounge is definitely my favorite spot at Shea because it's where we can hang out with all of my fellow residents and honestly all of my friends. Typically on a floor, lots of different languages are living on that floor. It's not just one pod or one language. I hesitate to say, but kind of like neutral ground is the best wording I'm coming up with, where you're no longer alienated by these pods, by these languages. You're just hanging out with your friends. I have been living at Shea these past 2 years and I am applying to live here next year as well. It's given me a stable group to always be able to go back to, and it's a good way to create that community and create a group of almost automatic friends that you then form deeper connections with and that continue past your year living here. You're close with so many people and so many really good and genuine people as well. Well, a really good example of this is my current roommate. She was very undecided going into Shea. She wasn't sure whether she wanted to live here or potentially move off grounds. She was in very deep conversation with me since I was currently living at Shea at the time. One of the automatic benefits is that you do get credit for living at Shea. That goes towards your language, which is very nice. But beyond that, it's really just such a unique and special opportunity to be able to live here and to be able to learn from the other languages and the other cultures that are represented here is really important. The convenience to grounds is always very nice. My roommate who was deciding about it was really tied to the bus system and she wanted desperately to get off of it, and Shea is right across the street from New Cabell, from Old Cabell, from the lawn. For a humanities major like myself, having almost all of my classes in New Cabell, it's very convenient to be able to just walk across the street and be at my class in 5 minutes. I wanted to live here because there's so much experience in a language that you can't get just inside a classroom. It's a nice way to make a big college feel small.